Colors speak in a language that the mind often forgets, but the spirit always remembers. They carry vibrations that touch your mood, your thoughts, even the quiet energy of your body. On January 4th, this language becomes clearer. The air feels heavier with unseen potential, and every choice has the power to open a door to something beyond the ordinary. Shaolin wisdom teaches that life is shaped in the details, that mastery is hidden not in grand gestures, but in the small conscious actions we take, including the color we place over our own body. On this day, the energy around you is subtle, yet profound, and aligning with it can change the rhythm of your year in ways most never notice. In this video, I will reveal the hidden power behind the colors we wear, why January 4th holds a unique spiritual significance, and how a simple act of mindful choice can become a step toward inner clarity and personal mastery. You will learn how energy, intention, and awareness intertwine, creating a bridge between the visible world and the silent forces that guide it. This is not just about clothing, but about tuning your mind to the vibrations that shape life itself. Stay with me until the end to uncover insights that most overlook, lessons that are quietly practiced in the Shaolin temples, but rarely spoken of outside. The mind often wanders, chasing what seems important, while the true path unfolds in the smallest gestures. Every thread, every fold, every color we place upon ourselves carries more than mere appearance. It carries intention. In the quiet discipline of Shaolin practice, mastery is never born from grand displays or sudden insight. It begins with noticing what is almost invisible, with honoring the subtle choices that most ignore. Selecting the color you wear becomes more than a daily routine. It becomes a deliberate act, a moment to pause and align with the rhythm of your own consciousness. Each time the hand reaches for a garment, the mind can either drift into habit or awaken to purpose. The body obeys effortlessly when the mind is alert, and the mind itself grows sharper through repeated conscious acts. Even the simplest choices, blue to invite calm, red to ignite courage, white to cultivate clarity, become exercises in awareness, training the soul to perceive energy and resonance that lie beyond ordinary sight. In Shaolin halls, monks learn that mastery is a mosaic of small, deliberate actions, each one shaping the spirit as much as the body. The color over your chest, the fold of your sleeve, the way fabric touches your skin, they are all whispers of consciousness, shaping how you feel, how you think, how you move through the world. To dress with mindfulness is to step into life fully awake, to honor the unseen laws that govern energy and thought. Every act, no matter how trivial it appears, is an opportunity to sculpt the mind, to sharpen focus, and to cultivate presence. When you learn to move with awareness in the smallest details, mastery no longer seems distant. It begins quietly in every choice you make, in every color you allow to reflect the state of your inner being. Colors speak in silence, yet their voice reaches deeper than words. Each hue carries a vibration, an energy that touches the mind and shapes the inner landscape. Blue spreads like still water, inviting calm and reflection, quieting restless thoughts that cloud perception. Red pulses like a heartbeat, awakening courage and the strength to act with resolve. White opens a space of clarity, a gentle light that reveals what is hidden and sharpens the eye of awareness. Gold or yellow can stir receptivity, a readiness to receive guidance, insight, or subtle truths that pass unnoticed by the distracted mind. In the ancient halls of Shaolin, such awareness of energy is not a matter of superstition, but a disciplined practice of alignment. Monks observe that when mind, body, and environment resonate together, clarity arises naturally, and decisions flow without hesitation. Every color chosen becomes a tool, a channel through which inner balance is cultivated. It is less about the eye and more about the state of being, allowing external energies to harmonize with the quiet pulse of consciousness within. Discipline manifests in these small, mindful choices, for mastery is never found in chaos or randomness, but in the deliberate attunement to forces both seen and unseen. Over time, the repeated practice of alignment shapes perception itself, teaching the mind to notice subtleties, to feel currents of energy, and to respond with presence rather than impulse. The careful selection of color, therefore, becomes an act of inner refinement, a way to train the senses and the spirit to move in harmony with life. Through this, the outer world mirrors the order within, and the subtle energies of each day become companions on the path of growth, clarity, and quiet power. The body is a mirror of the mind, and what we choose to wear becomes a reflection of the inner landscape. Garments are more than protection or decoration. They carry intention and shape perception, both of ourselves and those around us. When the mind is restless, even the simplest attire feels discordant, tugging at focus and scattering energy. Yet when choice is deliberate, when colors, textures, and form are selected with awareness, the effect is subtle but profound. A harmonious ensemble can settle the thoughts, quiet the tension, and create a space within where insight can emerge naturally. In the teachings of the ancients, harmony between outer and inner worlds was considered essential for growth. Shaolin philosophy, in particular, teaches that the body is a tool for cultivating consciousness, and alignment of the external reflects clarity within. When one dresses with intention, the mind senses order and attention sharpens. The ripple of that quiet discipline moves beyond the clothes themselves, influencing posture, breath, and the very rhythm of daily action. It is through these small, conscious choices that mastery begins to take shape, not as a sudden revelation, but as a steady refinement of awareness. Each morning becomes an opportunity to tune the mind through the simple act of preparation, allowing energy to flow more freely, focus to deepen, and perception to expand. The visible and invisible, the external and internal are entwined. By honoring the outer form with care and mindfulness, the inner world responds in kind, cultivating presence, discipline, and clarity. Through such alignment, what is worn becomes a quiet practice, a bridge between ordinary life and the subtle dimensions of insight that awaken when mind and body move as one. Time is not merely a line marked by hours and dates. It is a river of subtle energy, flowing through every moment, touching life in ways often unnoticed. The ancients observed this rhythm closely, noting that certain days carry qualities distinct from others, moments when the currents of energy are stronger, more receptive, or quietly transformative. Shaolin and Taoist traditions chart these currents, not as superstition, but as a guide to living in harmony with the natural flow of life. January 4th, in this rhythm, holds a particular significance. It is a day of transition, a threshold where the old gradually recedes and potential waits, unseen but palpable, in the air. Choices made on this day, however small, resonate more deeply, carrying influence beyond the ordinary. Selecting a color with awareness, approaching the day with intention, or engaging in stillness can amplify receptivity, opening the mind to insights that might otherwise pass unnoticed. Mastery, the ancients remind, is cultivated not only through training the body or the mind, but through aligning oneself with the subtle patterns that govern time itself. Consciousness of timing sharpens perception and teaches patience, for each moment contains a depth waiting to be acknowledged. When the body, mind, and environment move in harmony with the energy of the day, discipline becomes effortless and decisions flow from clarity rather than habit. The act of observing and honoring these rhythms is itself a practice of self-mastery, an education in awareness, patience, and alignment. On days like January 4th, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary, revealing the quiet power that emerges when intention meets timing, and teaching that personal growth is as much about attuning to the currents of life as it is about effort or will. Every choice we make holds the potential to open a door, but few recognize that even the simplest decisions can lead to unseen thresholds. Color, when approached with intention, becomes such a doorway, a silent invitation to higher awareness. The hue we place over ourselves is not mere decoration. It is a signal to the mind, a subtle alignment of thought, energy, and attention. Choosing it consciously is an act of preparation, like sitting in stillness before meditation, arranging the body and breath to receive insight. Each deliberate act reinforces presence, teaching the mind to move beyond habit and into awareness. When color is selected with purpose, it strengthens alignment with goals, bringing clarity to intention and focus to action. Blue, red, white, or gold, each carries resonance that, when matched with intent, supports mindfulness, sharpens perception, and steadies the mind against distraction. In the practice of the ancients, these small rituals were never trivial. A monk's robe, carefully chosen each day, prepared the body and spirit for training, transforming mundane dressing into a form of discipline, a daily rehearsal in self-mastery. The external act becomes internalized, guiding the mind to quiet observation, patience, and readiness. Discipline grows not only through prolonged meditation or physical exertion, but through repeated attention to these simple conscious acts. Every fold, every shade, every choice becomes a lesson in awareness, shaping not just how the world perceives us, but how we perceive ourselves. The doorway opens gradually, not with force, but with alignment, revealing that mastery is cultivated in the harmony between intention and action, between the quiet reflection of choice and the living rhythm of presence. Through this, the mind learns to move with awareness in all things, and the path toward inner clarity becomes visible in even the smallest gestures. Discipline often hides in the quiet corners of life, unnoticed by those who seek only dramatic change or sudden revelation. The ancients understood that mastery does not emerge from rare flashes of insight, but from the steady, patient accumulation of conscious actions. Each choice, no matter how small, carries the weight of intention and shapes the mind over time. Selecting the color to wear, a decision many dismiss as trivial, becomes a practice of awareness, a test of attention, and a declaration of presence. In the Shaolin halls, monks learn to approach every motion with mindfulness, from the angle of a stance to the way a hand moves through the air. So too, the mind and spirit are trained through repetition of small, deliberate acts. Intentional living is not found in grand gestures, but in aligning thought and action, moment by moment, with purpose. Choosing a color in the morning is a subtle yet profound exercise in this alignment. It asks the mind to pause, to notice, and to act with clarity, reinforcing the discipline that forms the foundation of self-mastery. Over time, these small actions accumulate like drops of water carving stone, shaping character, focus, and awareness. They teach patience, consistency, and the quiet power of presence. The practice extends beyond the choice itself. It strengthens the ability to act consciously in every part of life, creating a rhythm where inner mastery and outer behavior move together. Even the simplest decisions become sacred, moments where the mind is trained to notice, to deliberate, and to act with intention. In this way, what seems ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the path of self-mastery is walked one mindful choice at a time, each step reinforcing the silent discipline that guides the spirit toward clarity and strength. Rituals are the quiet teachers of the mind, subtle guides that draw attention back to the present when life's noise threatens to scatter it. The act of choosing a color on January 4th becomes more than a decision. It is a ritual, a deliberate pause that awakens awareness. In that moment, the body, mind, and spirit converge, and the ordinary task of dressing transforms into an exercise in presence. Ancient traditions understood that the smallest repeated acts hold power far beyond their appearance. Monks would rise before dawn, align their movements with breath, and attend to each step as a form of meditation. Similarly, a conscious ritual, even as simple as selecting a color, signals the mind to slow, observe, and engage fully with the moment. It becomes a reminder that discipline is not only forged in grand challenges, but in the careful, repeated alignment of intention with action. These acts cultivate a rhythm of awareness, teaching the mind to recognize patterns, to respond rather than react, and to hold focus when distraction arises. Over time, the ritual transforms routine into opportunity, turning what is often automatic into a deliberate expression of self-mastery. The choice of color carries more than aesthetic value. It carries energy, intention, and presence, guiding the day from its first moment toward clarity and calm. In this way, conscious rituals bridge the gap between external action and internal cultivation, shaping the mind as surely as meditation shapes the spirit. Through this, life itself becomes a series of openings, small doors through which awareness passes, moments that teach patience, discipline, and the quiet power of deliberate attention. Each ritual, no matter how simple, becomes a step on the path toward alignment and inner mastery. The world speaks in subtle ways, and one of its quiet languages is color. Every shade that surrounds us influences mood, perception, and even the way we engage with others. Blue can bring stillness to a racing mind. Red can spark courage or urgency, and soft neutrals can create a sense of balance and calm. To notice these effects is not mere curiosity, it is practice. Shaolin wisdom teaches that mastery begins with observation, that every action, every choice, ripples outward in ways both seen and unseen. When a color shifts your energy or the tone of an interaction, it is an opportunity to witness cause and effect in real time. Journaling or mindful reflection becomes a tool to deepen this awareness, to capture how subtle influences shape thought, emotion, and behavior. Writing a few lines about how a day unfolds, how a chosen color resonates within, allows the mind to connect patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. In these observations lies the essence of discipline, attentiveness to life in its smallest details, learning from each moment, and refining the self with awareness rather than habit. Over time, the practice of noticing, recording, and reflecting strengthens perception, sharpens clarity, and nurtures inner mastery. The outer world becomes a mirror, revealing the quiet currents of energy that flow through each decision, each interaction. By treating color and other subtle influences as teachers, the ordinary day transforms into a classroom, a space where the mind learns to recognize patterns, the spirit learns to respond with balance, and the self moves closer to harmony. Observation, reflection, and awareness of cause and effect are not abstract concepts. They are living practices, guiding the path of conscious mastery in every choice we make and every step we take. Awareness is not bound by a single moment or a solitary day. It flows like a river, carrying the lessons of one experience into the next. The spiritual doors opened by a mindful choice of color on January 4th are not confined to that day alone. They are a reminder that every decision we make carries weight, shaping consciousness and guiding energy. The principle behind this awareness extends far beyond clothing. It touches the food we eat, the words we speak, the thoughts we nurture, and the focus we bring to each task. Each choice, when approached with attention, becomes an opportunity to align with clarity, discipline, and purpose. In the quiet teachings of Shaolin, mastery is cultivated through these continuous acts of awareness, through living each moment with deliberate presence. Small, conscious decisions compound over time, shaping habits, temperament, and the quality of perception. When we recognize the subtle power in seemingly ordinary choices, life itself transforms into a training ground for the mind and spirit. A simple meal becomes nourishment not only for the body but for clarity of thought. Words spoken with care become instruments of harmony rather than distraction. Even the focus we give to a single task can reinforce patience and inner strength. This is the rhythm of personal mastery, observing, reflecting, choosing consciously, and allowing awareness to guide every action. The outer world becomes a mirror of inner discipline, and each mindful act, no matter how small, becomes a step toward alignment. Over time, these moments accumulate, creating a life where attention, intention, and presence are inseparable. Through such practices, the self learns to move with precision, awareness, and quiet power, opening doorways to growth and insight that continue long after the initial choice is made. The color you choose to wear on January 4th is not a superstition, but a practice, a deliberate act of awareness that reflects the state of your mind and spirit. Each mindful choice, no matter how small, carries the power to cultivate clarity, discipline, and alignment with the subtle energies around you. Shaolin wisdom teaches that mastery is not found in grand gestures or sudden insight, but in the consistent, conscious attention given to ordinary actions. When we treat every decision with care, whether in the colors we wear, the words we speak, or the focus we bring to our daily tasks, life itself becomes a path of awakening. Let this understanding guide you, allowing mindful choices to deepen presence, sharpen perception, and strengthen inner harmony. Begin today, step by step, and watch how simple acts transform into a life of greater clarity and purpose. If this teaching resonates with you, join us on this journey of conscious living. Like and subscribe to Heng Yi Chronicles, and walk with us into a world where ancient wisdom quietly guides the path toward personal mastery and inner peace.